Well, okay, look. People of all ages, all lifestyles, all arenas of life, they all ask the same question. Does God know me? Does God love me? Can God ever forgive me? I've talked to some guys that have come back from overseas, and they'll ask me, every last one of them after they come back from overseas, ask me, do you think God can ever forgive me for the stuff that I've done? And I tell them, the Bible says, render unto God and what's God and what Caesar's is Caesar's. And I said, once you signed that contract and you went overseas, you needed to render unto Caesar what was Caesar's. Not only that, but when you go overseas, remember this, as a military man or whatever you do, especially as a military or a policeman, is this, that in the Old Testament it said, thou shalt not kill. That's premeditated murder. In the Old Testament, there's 3 exceptions for murder. 3, or for killing, not murder. 3 exceptions for killing. Number 1, defense of your home. Number 2, defense of your country. You think they went to the promised land, they said boo and everybody ran? Okay? All right. Defense of your home, defense of your country, and capital punishment. That's all throughout the Old Testament. And the way it works is, when you go from the Old Testament to New Testament, if there is a law written in the Old Testament that's not superseded by a law in the New Testament, then the Old Testament law stands. Always remember that. So when I had one guy, literally, I was at a barbecue, and I had no idea this guy was even thinking this, and this guy comes up to me, and we had a few minutes, just us, everybody had walked off, and the first thing he asked me was, do you think God will ever forgive me for all I've done? He was a Marine sniper. He said, do you think God will ever forgive me? And when I told him that, he started crying. And he said, that's the first peace I've had since I've come back home. Once you realize that. The same way I have people, even some of the guys, you think these guys are high rollers, these are the big guys. You know, had a vice president at Fountain pull me in his office and said, please shut that door. And I never even talked to him much. I bet I hadn't said 5 words to the guy. And he pulls me in his office and says, shut the door. And I was wondering, am I in trouble? Yeah. I'm just walking by. David, can you come off? Shut the door, please. Now.
Hey, that happened a few times.
Oh, yeah. But when I shut the door, it wasn't about anything about work. Do you think God can forgive me? Do you think God can work in my situation? And I said, it's not what I think, it's what I know. What the Bible says is what we can know. So again, can God ever forgive me? Underneath these questions lies a more important basic issue. What is God really like? Who is He? Now remember, this is going to be good several weeks going. I don't know how many, but you can figure for at least maybe through November. All right? Do you know what your name means? We talked about it Sunday morning with Mara and Naomi. Do you know what your name means literally? Does it convey something about you? Now, in biblical times, the Hebrew name of a person often conveyed a significant message. A name may represent something specific, such as a physical characteristic or an incident at birth or an anticipated future accomplishment. So in the Bible, much is revealed about God through His various names. However, unless you are reading from Hebrew text, some of God's attributes are as revealed in His names as buried in the translation. So that's why we're going to talk about this. I want to really get down deep and let us see who is God. First, some say God is a cosmic killjoy. You ever heard somebody talk about that? God just don't want anybody to have fun. He wrote that Bible trying to aggravate people. He just doesn't want us to get along and have do what we want to do. So He's a cosmic killjoy. Is this true? Or does His laws and principles serve as a protective hedge around us than a prison that confines us? When you drive 55 out there, you go look in a place and it says, I've seen recently, especially when I went up to New England, slow children playing, or deaf children, the yellow sign, deaf children. Then we know there might be some kids running out in front of the road because they can't hear the car coming.
There's one of those on 33 here.
Yeah. And slow children playing, or ice, the bridge freezes before the road does. Why? Because there's air under the bridge the water comes in and there's nothing to warm it up. And so, you can hit that bridge, you might go over and take a dip. So all this stuff is good. 55-mile-an-hour speed limit is good, because if everybody's riding 75, 80, 90, 100 miles an hour down this road, somebody can get killed.
When my youngest son was a little boy, we were going back from Plymouth to Rocky Mountain one night, and there was a deer crossing sign. He said, "There ain't a deer within 1,000,000 miles of here." And I had to stop like 800 yards down the road and let her herd cross. I said, "What was that you were saying?"
Well, my solution to that is move the deer crossing sign. Move to a place that's lit and driving slow.